of the year.
And Anaya Smith is out.
Yeah,
for the
that's
Anaya Smith
a
of A&M.
big one.
Yeah. For A&M, towards Achilles out for the year. That was a hard scene to watch him and his dad. You know, having to go through that. That's really, really tough news for A&M, who is down to kind of Devon Achane as their one game changer.
Freaking told y'all, man.
Yeah.
Freaking told y'all. Stupid picks. Like, this is, man, I flip-flop on my dumb picks every week.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, they're hard games. They're not easy.
It's not even that. It's like I just don't trust myself. And I was on Friday and Saturday like, man, I'm telling y'all, I just have a weird feeling about this A&M Arkansas game. And there's Paul, Mr. A&M, and I understand why. Like, no, like, come on, what are they going to do? Sure enough, choke Arkansas in that game. Like, come on, man. But, yeah, I mean, A&M now, they are really, man, hurting for offensive talent.
They had two guys, right?
They had a two-man show, basically,
Smith and Achane, and Achane's phenomenal. I mean, that's all. You wonder, how does he – well, it's kind of like Deuce Vaughn. You know he's going to get the ball. You just can't find him and get him. By the time he does, he's 10 yards down the field. A&M had really two legitimate weapons. They have some young ones too. But without Smith, they still won the game against Arkansas.
They have not had a player like Achane since Leland McElroy. And they've had some good running backs.
What was the Williams kid that they had?
Travion
Williams was pretty.
He's pretty good.
Pretty good.
But Achane is a changer. And again, Leland McElroy goes back to like 92, 93. You know, when they had three good running backs and all guys that were NFL dudes in Greg Hill and Rodney Thomas and him. But they have not had a play like that in a long time.
And if Texas doesn't get Worthy back, I'm sorry, they had Nayor go out, remember, at the start of before the year began. That would be a very costly injury for them, and it was against Texas Tech as well.
Yeah, well, let's stick with A&M. Max Johnson, I think you at least know you've got a little something there compared to what you had with Haynes King. You know, you're not going to get Heisman play necessarily, but I think you do feel somewhat better about your situation. And, yeah, now you're kind of one-dimensional if you're A&M with this injury. Anaya Smith, that was, horrible for him. He's had a rough year where he had the DWI thing that popped up like a month or so or whenever that was, a couple months back, and just the A&M struggles, now this injury, and just sucks, man. I really hate it for that young man because he's an explosive, fun player to watch, and that's just really unfortunate for them. But, man, how do you – just Arkansas, like, how do you keep letting this happen against A&M, man?
You know what it reminds me of? During the great rivalry that Nebraska-Oklahoma was back in the 70s, there was – now sometimes OU just thumped them. But there became almost, you just waited for it to happen. Something was going to happen, and Oklahoma was going to win the game. They both were good. But that's kind of happened with A&M and Arkansas in that series up in Arlington.
And I give Jimbo and company a lot of credit. I mean, they could have easily lost that game and just went about their business and continued, perhaps crumbling. But I think, now there's certainly questions with Smith's injury. But, we'll see how they kind of fight through the rest of this thing. I think that win at least gave them a little bit of a jolt. Now, going to Xavier Worthy, if he's out for any significant amount of time, I think you saw in that second half for Texas kind of how, without Ewers there and without Worthy, there's not a whole lot else. I mean, there's Bijan, obviously, and there's Roshan, but there ain't a whole – yeah, but –
well, he's.
I know. I just feel like we've been talking about him for like 4 years on potential.
He's had a good start to the year.
I know, but I'm saying, are you putting him in the Bijan category?
No, what I'm saying is they have more than just Xavier Worthy, but in the passing game, he is. That's
a huge blow. Yeah, like that's a huge blow to think that the Whittington's just going to take over, and that's all I'm saying is he's a fine player, but that's bad news for Texas depending on how long he's out. If he's out, if he's not, then I'm sure that that'll be okay. But if he's out, man, they've really had a bad streak of injury bug.
All right, here's a note.